Hello, everyone. Remember that members of the House of Representatives came out to say that they were going to take a salary cut because of the hardship that is in the country to be able to help. That's their own contribution towards alleviating the suffering that is in the country. Well, as it is, they lied. They're still collecting their full salary. They had earlier said they were going to give, is it 50 or 60% of the salary that they're collecting for the next 6 months to help towards the whole hardship in the country, like I said earlier, to help alleviate the suffering in the country. So this is a report from Foundation for Investigative Journalism. It says confirmed reps lied about their salaries while offering 50% to fight hunger. It says members of the House of Representatives earn significantly more than the 600,000 they quoted at the plenary session where they agreed to donate half of their monthly salaries, FIG has gathered. During a plenary session on July 18, the House of Representatives pledged to donate half of their monthly salaries for 6 months to combat hunger in Nigeria. The lawmakers had said they earn 600,000 monthly and promised to release 300,000 each to support the federal government's economic recovery efforts. Let me even stop here before I continue. So first of all, 300,000. To say 300,000 in 6 months, that's 1.8 million naira. There is no how that the members of the House of Representatives won't have this amount to give, since they are the ones that made a commitment. Your word should be your bond. When you say something, except it's by death or something, you have to fulfill it. I just don't get how people don't see this part of it. And moreover, forget the salaries that they paid. It's not really the salaries that is the main money, it's the allowances. So they have what they call basic salary, then they have allowances, and it's those allowances that really add up to what they collect monthly. So at the end of the day, if you give, since it was even 300,000 that they pledged, if you give 1.8 and say this is what I've pledged for the 6 months for them to use to combat, the problems that are in Nigeria, that wouldn't be something that is so much out of place or something that it's this is what, when they talk about integrity, when they talk about values, when they talk about character, this is all what it comes down to. Because people don't have character, people don't have integrity, people don't know what it is when you give your word on something. They just do anyhow. Let me go back. Say the lawmakers had said they earn 600,000 monthly and promised to release 300,000 each to support the federal government's economic recovery efforts. However, FIG has found evidence confirming that the lawmakers earn more than they claimed while making the pledge. So we've always had that issue of lawmakers, the salaries, and that was why I remember it was in 2016 there was that campaign demands that was done, which was open NAS. I remember citizens, protested to NAS, spent I think weeks, occupying us. It ended up in occupying us. At the end of the day, it was called off, just like what you saw with NSAS protests, where they came and they started removing the cameras. We remember that day they came and they started removing the cameras within the National Assembly, and it was decided, to say call the occupy off rather than people staying there and sleeping there. That was how that was called off. What that openness represented was there needed to be a transparency in knowing what exactly is the amount of money that members of the National Assembly are receiving, they are taking home. You really can't pinpoint and say there's an estimate that is always being made, but to say this is how much. And I think every lawmaker, every citizen should be able to know what their what is the take-home pay of their lawmaker to the fullest, not all of these things, that they tend to do all the time. The Revenue Mobilization Fiscal Commission (RMFAC), which is responsible for setting the remuneration of political office holders, pegs the salary of lawmakers at 794,086 naira monthly. And also a channel's television interview with Uzokwe Ifeanyi on Thursday disproved the 600,000 claim. The lawmaker representing Nnewi South Federal constituency revealed a screen grab of his July salary notification, revealing that a member of the House of Representatives earns 979 naira 53 kobo monthly. And there is the this thing, the credit that you see, July salary now. There is a screenshot of that salary that is out there. And so the report continues by saying if lawmakers donate 50% of this amount, they will be contributing about 168.7 million monthly and would have donated approximately 1 billion to fight hunger over 6 months. And okay, let's say this particular amount that they now donate, even the lawmakers themselves can they utilize the money, buy things for their members and all of that, not just to even wait for whether the federal government or the executive or whatever it is, they on their own be able to help towards the situation. So I don't know what has happened here, whether it is that, oh, the money was supposed to be removed but it wasn't removed, or they haven't started yet, but they made a commitment, they made a promise, and it is sort of mandatory on them now, because this is a promise, this is a pledge that they had made. Before that pledge was made, it wasn't mandatory on them, but they made this pledge and they need to, pay up, redeem the pledge that they made. Beyond the basic salaries of rep, this is what this report is saying, just like what I've said earlier. Nigerian lawmakers receive substantial sums beyond their basic salaries every month. According to the RMFAC, each lawmaker is entitled to an accommodation allowance worth 200% of their basic salary. So that's, I can't even do the math. So that's like double this amount. That's what they collect for their what they call it now, accommodation allowance. Then a furniture allowance of 300,000 and additional benefits such as severance packages, medical allowances, recess allowances, and duty tour allowances. So like I said earlier, it's not just that money, there are a lot of allowances that these people are collecting. If the RMFAC figures are anything to go by, lawmakers are entitled to extra allowances of about 5.9 million on a to be processed basis. Beyond salaries and allowances, lawmakers receive millions of naira monthly as running costs. Several lawmakers, including Ahmed Lawa, the former Senate president, have pegged the monthly running costs at about 8.5 million naira. In a controversial revelation in 2018, Sheikh Hussaini, a former senator from Kaduna Central Senatorial District, stated that no specification were made for how the running costs should be spent when given to lawmakers. Meanwhile, on Monday, FIG reported the House of Representatives' inability to confirm if they had begun donating half of their salaries to fight hunger as promised. When asked about the implementation during the channel's interview on Thursday, Ifeanyi said lawmakers will start the donation in August, noting that the decision was only approved in July. Hopefully, we see them donating this, because I just feel the lawmakers can do, it's even beneficial to them. They've made this promise. Let them donate this amount. It's not going to take away so much from them, and it will put them in a good light, at least especially amongst the people that they are supposed to be representatives of. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.